Welcome Sahani sir, Daryani sir, Mehta sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
सब आ गए?
आफ्टरनून टू एवरीबॉडी।
हाँ,
आगे
बाकी
सर।
तो आने दो सबको अभी 5
हाँ
मिनट।
नमस्कार सर।
हाँ, दयानी सर नमस्ते।
आपको हेलो क्या? सानी सर आप क्यों चुपचाप बैठे हैं? डॉक्टर किशोर मेहता। डॉक्टर किशोर मेहता।
यस सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून।
गुड आफ्टरनून।
आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम आई एम सीइंग योर
Yes.
फेस।
मेहता
Yes.
सर कैमरे के सामने ठीक ठाक बैठो ना, एक साइड से हो रहे हैं आप।
ओके।
वो सीधे नहीं बैठ सकते।
सीधा बैठो ना
हाँ।
सर, सीधा बैठो ना हमारे जैसा। और उसको उसको जरा सा इधर उधर सरकाओ ना अपना।
वो
एक
वो
साइड।
मूविंग चेयर है।
अच्छा
साहब, you are looking young, sir.
Yes, sir.
डॉक्टर सानी सर।
Mehta sir, looking young, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
The most young person is Dr. Sani.
Yes. Thanks to Dr. Bhasme, we are able to meet on Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, sir. Thanks very much.
क्या कह रहे थे?
Dr. Bhasme, can we start?
थोड़ा रुकिए 2 मिनट।
Okay.
100 होने दो, अभी 90 हो गए, एटलीस्ट 100 होने दो पार्टिसिपेंट्स। हाँ करो सर, चालू करो. हाँ अरे ते को होस्ट करा ना, ते बाकीच्यांचे माईक बंद करा ना तुम्ही. हे होस्ट को होस्ट सर शुरू करिए. नेता सर.
डॉक्टर महेंद्र कहाँ है?
सर एक और 1-1.5 मिनट कंट्रोल हो जाएगा सिचुएशन. वो थोड़ा होस्टिंग की कुछ दिक्कत चल रही है.
नाही नाही, चला चला चला, सुरू करा महेंद्र.
सर कर सकता.
सुरू करा हो.
त्यांनी को होस्ट केले.
येते ना तुमचा आवाज, येऊन राहिला ना. केलं ना त्यांनी, आता करतोय तो. आता
हाँ ते केला आता.
करा, आवाज येतो, तुम्ही चालू करा.
नमस्कार, गुड आफ्टरनून. नमस्कार, गुड आफ्टरनून गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीबॉडी. आज का सेशन, वेबिनार का सेशन बहुत पावरफुल है और पैक्ड है. वी हैव स्टार्टेड दिस सीरीज for the people who have recently joined, newly joined. This is a
एम के सहानीला हे करा ना तुम्ही, आपले हो.
This is a joint venture of Sonaji Rao Kshisagar Homeopathic Medical College, Bid, and Homeopathic Education and Research Institute, Mumbai. The webinar series was conducted.
सहानींना हे करा ना, को होस्ट. काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे?
Management and post-graduate education department director. Hello.
हा बोला ना हो, तुम्ही कशामुळे तुम्ही वाट
Anil
बघता?
Bhatia, sir. So we have conducted this. We are conducting this webinar series since 4th of October.
हॅलो. हा हा.
And many seniors, stalwarts, scientists from homeopaths and doctors, they will be, they have joined this webinar series and they will be joining in future also. So today I have a proud privilege to welcome Dr. Mridul Kumar Sahani sir from Patna as a distinguished speaker, and Dr. J.D. Daryani sir from Jaipur, Rajasthan as a moderator. Let me have an introduction of today's speaker, Dr. Mridul Kumar. He has worked under Dr. B. Sahani, a recognized scientist and discoverer of transmission of medicine energy from a distance. He has completed his PhD from Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, and in homeopathy, first PhD holder in the state of Bihar. He is also former chairman of Education Committee, 2012 to 17, and more than for 5 years for Central Council of Homeopathy, New Delhi. He has also served the council with developing curriculum and educational regulation in homeopathy, which is now implemented graduation level BHMS course all over the country. Now, he also is a former member of Education Committee. He is in Central Council of Homeopathy. He is a president of Bihar Voluntarily Health Association. He is serving his presidentialship since third term. He is a secretary of Voluntary Health Association of India, chairman of Research Institute of Sahani's Drug Transmission and Homeopathy. He is a scholar of transmission of drug energy from a distance, postgraduate coordinator and professor and head of department of GD Memorial Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Patna, member of Academic Council, Homeopathic University, Jaipur, and founder of Society of Sahani Drug Transmission, and many more figures there. He is also trained as NABH training at Ayush Hospital and Institute. He has presented several papers in national and international conferences. He has written many articles and assigned as a chairman Education Committee, I already told you, elsewhile General Secretary of Homeopathic Medical Association of India of Bihar State for almost 2 terms. And erstwhile Secretary, National Environment Science Academy of Patna chapter. He is the Secretary General of Homeopathic Medical Association of India for more than 2 terms. And he's president of Rotary Patna Midtown for 1998 and 99. Many articles he has written. He has a recipient of many awards. Few among them are Kent Award by the Homeopathic Medical Association of India in 1999, Animanian National Award, then Best Teacher Award, Lifetime Achievement Award by the Cancer Institute of Homeopathy, Kolkata in 2011, Lifetime Achievement Award by Research Society of Homeopathy at Jodhpur in 2015, and Best Teacher Award by the Homeopathic Medical Association of India during annual scientific seminar held at Belgaum in Karnataka in recently 2019. He is also a recipient of International Award, that is Award of Excellence 2007 by Center of Advanced Studies in Homeopathy, and also in 2005, in 2007 and 5 he has received of this. He is also author of Principle and Practice of Homeopathic Pharmacy, Approach to Homeopathic Education Technology. He is a co-author, Organon of Medicine, which is in press, and following 2-3 books are there. They are in the press. That is Art of Practical Case Taking, Principle and Practice in Homeopathic Materia Medica, and so on. Many things are there. So I'm very thankful today that he will be talking on the topic of differential studies on repertorial approach in homeopathy. And I will talk little about today's moderator, sir, Dr. J.D. Daryani, sir. He is ex-principal of Homeopathic Medical College at Jaipur, and also Dean, ex-Dean, former Dean of University of Jaipur. Now, may I request Dr. Basme, sir, to please have 2 words about these 2 stalwarts, then we can start.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर कौशल। आज के इस वेबिनार सीरीज में हमारे कॉलेज से ही जिन्होंने एमडी किया और पीएचडी किया, वैसे हमारे सेंट्रल काउंसिल ऑफ होम्योपैथी में हमने साथ में काम किया है। हमारे दोस्त, हमारे गाइड डॉक्टर सहानी सर और डॉक्टर दरानी सर। दरानी सर के बारे में अभी परिचय किया, सहानी सर के बारे में भी हमारे प्रिंसिपल ने परिचय करवाया है। मुझे बहुत खुशी है आज दोनों को सामने आमने सामने देखकर इस वर्चुअल मीटिंग के माध्यम से और वेबिनार के माध्यम से। और दरानी सर काफी बार हमारे शहर में भीड़ में आ चुके हैं एज ए एग्जामिनर, एज ए स्पीकर इन वेरियस सेमिनार एंड एग्जामिनेशन. So I am welcome you, sir, all both of you from on behalf of our college, Sonajarok Shivsagar Homeopathic College, Beed, and Homeopathic Education and Research Institute, Bombay. Sir, you all know that we are organizing this webinar series in the memory of our Kaku, who is the founder of our institution, and Dr. Anil Bhatia, former director PG of this college. This webinar series is going on from 4th October, and it has been inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Medical Education of this state, Mr. Amit Deshmukh. And actually, it was organized only for 7 days, for 4th to 11 October, because the 4th October is the Memorial Day of Kaku, and 11th October is the Memorial Day of Dr. Anil Bhatia. But since the continuous demand from our alumni that they are also requested to contribute his webinar, and that's why we have extended his up to 4th November. So I welcome you, sir, both of you, sir, and go ahead now. Sahani sir, please.
So good afternoon, sir. And I'm feeling very emotional today to speak before and at my old alma mater at the Sonaji Beed Homeopathic Medical College, from where I completed my MD. And I am thankful and grateful to Dr. Arun Bhatme sir, who was my guide for the PhD also. So today presenting my lecture before him, and it's just my gratitude, my expressions and gratitude towards my mentor and guide for the PhD examinations. And by his guidance only, I was able to complete my PhD. This is my great opportunity for my life. I am also grateful to Dr. J.D. Daryani ji, who is the moderator for this session, and Dr. Mahendra Gosal, the present principal of the Beed Homeopathic Medical College. And I see Dr. Kishore Mehta, after seeing him a long time after, I feel very happy to see his face today. And still I recognize so many opportunity when I learned something from him. So Maharashtra has always been a teacher for me, the whole of the Maharashtra. I say it is a Maharashtra which has got the big heart. The people of the Maharashtra have the big heart, and they have इतना बड़ा दिल है कि सभी कोई को सिखाने के लिए तैयार रहते हैं. So, and with these words, I simply express my gratitude to you all, sir. And with these words, I would start my presentations. Dr. Bhatme sir told me to be on your subject. So I told sir, I am well versed with the repertorial approach. So let me have the overview of the different repertories and the differential studies that is required for the repertory, because with the so many repertory and so many approaches, one gets confused when and how and where to use which type of the repertory is useful. And for the students, it become very important to understand when and where to use and what is the specialty and where, at which place one repertoire is required and other repertoire is not required. And again, the concept is also coming up that there is a integrated approach towards the repertoire. So there must be the strategical approach also is to be there. So with these concepts, I feel that this topic will be very relevant for the present situations. So my topic is differential studies in repertorial approach in homeopathy. Now, one of the biggest concepts for the medical science, which was given by our master Hahnemann, that patient is never represented by a single symptoms, however peculiar they may be. And this understanding is very important for all of us. Finding a single medicine for one patient, and among the so many medicines with so many rubrics, and the patient also having so many symptoms, and uniting and bringing a totality of all those rubrics together and getting one medicine is definitely a very artistic and scientific approach, has to be combined, integrated approach. So the biggest concept that I see and I feel that it is only in the homeopathic system of medicines where we are using the single medicines, and the concept has been developed for the single medicine. So this big concept, with this big concept, keeping the background in our mind, we should, I am going to present how to arrive at one single medicines out of the so many diversity among the medicines in Materia Medica, as well as the diversity in the patients. And finding a linking where, as a simillimum, I say that simillimum is just like linking the concept of the in the Materia Medica and with the patient's presentations. Friends, what we see about a man, it is a complete unified system. A man, what is man? We don't see, when we see that I am Dr. Sahani, that you don't see the Dr. Sahani as a body, because we all have the body. We do not observe life, but only the living beings. We can study the property of a living organism and can at best differentiate them from those of the non-living entities. So by simply seeing the visibility of the living objects, we can differentiate it from the non-living object. But what life is something beyond the living and non-living entities of this universe. So there exists a wide gap between the science of life and the metaphysics of the life. The science of life says the properties that is involved in the living organism, your anatomy, your physiology, your psychology, all these things are there. And it is coming under the dimensions of the science. But when we talk about the life, we have to go beyond the scientific aspect, and that is the metaphysics of the life. So a gap has to be filled. What gap has to be filled between the science of life and the metaphysics of the life. So this is important phenomena, what Dr. Hahnemann has given guidelines for practicing the homeopathy. First, we have to get convinced that to whom we are prescribing a medicine. What is the target? What is our approach should be there? Who is the patient? And treating a patient is very important. And with this understanding, we have to select an approach, we have to decide an approach, and we have to create a strategy also. As a practical persons, we are more concerned with the scientific aspects of the life, because visibility is one thing that is of the main concern. We see the patient in the term of the sickness, the problem, and the material point of view only. And in the absence of explanations of life facts, one gets obstructed in making use of the existing knowledge. So unifying the material life with the physical, spiritual life is important, and it is required. And that was the things Dr. Hahnemann has tried to create and unify both things together for the practice of medicines. Dr. Henneman's concept was that medicines can never become complete system until and unless we unify the scientific approach and the spiritual approach together. So spirituality by spiritual, I am using this word only, but it is something that is beyond the limit of the science. So going beyond the science is the aspect that is related to the human beings. So integration is life building process. What happens? The sooner we are born, the zygote is created, egg is fertilized by the sperm, and they start multiplying into the several cells. And what is meant by multiplying? They are creating and accumulating integrating the different materials from the universe. And all the 100 elements that is available in your periodic table or whatever we have observed and not observed, all those elements get unified to form a body like ours. So even after getting dissociated, every element remain unified. Earlier they were not with here, and now again they are unified. So integration and disintegration are the part of the life. We are integrating the things, and at the same time, some things are coming out from our life. So integration and disintegration are the building process for our life. Friends, homeopathic approach towards the disease is very important, because we have to think on these planes only. Nothing can be known of a disease except through the symptoms. This is the red line guidelines of the master. Nothing can be known of the disease except through the symptoms. The base, the fundamental aspect is the symptoms. And it is the patient who is sick, not his parts or the organ. Symptoms are the unfailing guide to the selection of the remedy, and peculiar characteristics, individualizing symptoms as against the common symptoms denote the similar remedy. The remedy can hardly ever be indicated by a single symptom, however peculiar they may be. So this is very important, and this is the fundamental aspect of the homeopathy. And until and unless we create a belief and confidence and our practical approach on these aspects, we may not be able to understand the applied aspect of the different things that is being required for the practice of the medicines, and especially homeopathy. Friends, what is repertoire? Repertoire usually refers to the list or set of drama, opera, musical compositions or role which a company or a person is prepared to perform. So repertoire is a group, is a combining, unifying. It is a widely term used in the musical system. The musical theaters are there. And what they are doing, they are putting all the instruments, playing all the instruments and creating one single tune. And this word, why Dr. Henneman has chosen this word instead of index or instead of giving some other names, he has selected the word repertoire. And I am very much inspired by this word repertoire. When I looked into the word meaning of the repertory, different definitions are given in the different different books. But when I got the approach, because selection of medicines is one of the biggest problem for homeopathy. It is in no other system of medicines you will find this selection of medicines to be very difficult. They are very simple. For headache, you have one medicine. For this or that medicine. For headache, we have the thousands of medicines. For your gastric problem, whatever problem, there are thousands and thousands of the medicines are with you. So it is creating a tune, and it is like creating a musical notes, what our musical artists are doing. So repertorial theater and opera and this repertorial approach is like a opera approach, creating a musicians and musical repertoire. This is the process that I have understood, that I have experienced among this practice of this repertory. The first known word repertoire was in 1847. It is a loan word from French language, a repertoire, with a similar meaning in the arts. The origin of the word is from the late Latin word repertorium. So, since 1847, this word came into existence, and the basic beauty of this word was that they are the only thing to create a unifying and in such a pattern that it looks so good and it be very musical to the ear, soothing to the ears. This is required. The concept of basic repertory has been extended to refer the groups with such mainly on performing standard works as repertory theatres or the repertoire ballet. You all are aware how the beautiful music looks and how the musicians and the musical theatres they are doing. They are unifying and they do a lot of concentrated work to create one single tune, which becomes popular and we all are liked by the all. And same concept is required for the selection of the medicines. So 5,064 symptoms of the sulfur medicines, alone sulfur, in Allen's Encyclopedia. But when you go into the radar opus, you will get 15,000 plus symptoms of the rubrics of the sulfur. And likewise, so many medicines are there where the number of symptoms are not less than 2,000 or 1,000. So many things you have to be selective. And I think that's why the concept why Dr. Henneman has felt the need for having a symptoms selection process, symptom selection system. And it is not simply a filtering. It is not a filtering. Repertory work is not a filtering. It is unifying, integrating all those things on which the condition of the patient, the life of the patient is dependent. So it is an incredible proving. And what is there in homeopathy? Incredible proving. The proving which is nowhere to be observed. And Hahnemanian method of proving produced a treasure of symptoms regarding each drugs, and the homeopathic materia medica grew to the extent myriads of symptoms proved an almost impossible task for anyone to retain in memory and find out a particular drugs of the symptoms corresponding with the disease condition. How many materia medica you have? Nowadays, the number of materia medica has swelled to great extent. And is it possible to go through each and every materia medica? And suppose you have understanding, you have got into the one materia medica only, it is the complete incense, because each materia medica, they are the representative of experience of the individual author, the experience of the individual author. Are we going to follow one system, one person, or the homeopathic as a whole? This is the biggest question for us. If we are practicing homeopathy, we have to practice homeopathy and follow the principle of which is found everywhere. So many experiences, and all are okay. I don't say that any materia medica is bad or good. They all are okay. They are required, but we have to integrate all those things at one place, and this is possible with the repertorial approach only. So vastness of homeopathic materia medica requires navigator therapeutic approach to sickness. Thousands of symptoms in each medicine, more than 5,000 medicines we have. Keep on increasing, go on increasing. I don't know the number of 5,000 is exact today or not. I have simply approximated that it may be around 5,000 medicines. And each day, recently I heard that COVID nosodes was also came into existence, and AIDS nosodes are there. Human milk are there. So many new medicines are coming up and they are being incorporated, and they are the experiences, they are the relations, and it is the selection of the single medicines is the biggest challenge for us. So research for medicines for an individual case, the process is what we require, we have to make a research. Every individual patient we look, I'm thankful Dr. Bhatme sir has also, and Dr. Ramji Singh sir has also made a seminar where it was felt that education and research has to get combined together. Until a physician have an approach towards the research, he cannot practice medicine. Case-taking process is completely a research process. Research into the life of the patient. Research into the life of the patient is the case-taking process. And that was the guidelines was given by, methodology was given by Dr. Henneman. And this aspect is very important. So exploration for the symptoms, patient as a whole, his problem, his particular locations, his related problems, his causations, modalities, time modalities, and so many things. I have just tried to make a concise information, but within this concise information, there are the diversities. So it is like the spirit, body, mind, neural path, chemical, biological, physical, belief, chakra, and collective unconsciousness and the consciousness. Concept of totality of the symptoms is very important. It requires understanding of the harmony of the life, how the harmony of the life is created. And harmony of the life, all those symptoms which reflects the harmony of life needs to be, can only and should only be included as under the totality of the symptoms. So similimum is like shadow. Similimum is like shadow following the objects, and resemblance of the symptoms totality is the objective of similimum. Resemblance is the objective of the similimum, and matching requires artistic approach and scientific knowledge. Artistic approach and scientific knowledge. Friends, cure is the resultant effect of the similimum. Cure can come and in any system of the medicines, wherever you can see, there is no cure. Yesterday I was defining the cure. I was trying to find out the exact meaning of the cure. The cure word came from the care, taking care. It is only an initiative towards the healing process. So cure has to be replaced to the heal. The feeling of the wholeness has to be restored in the patient. Dr. Henneman spoke about restoration of the health in the previous, that the patient was feeling whole, complete earlier, and this wholeness feeling, in spite of the disability, in spite of the things which cannot be repaired, the patient has to feel himself to be the complete. He must have the confidence about his completeness. So only a perfect tuning of drug picture with a disease picture brings the similimum. And similimum only paves the path towards the cure. Thus, all effort of homeopathy is to find the similimum. So, a musical way of understanding the whole. So, therapeutics approach in homeopathy, it requires harmony between physician, medicines, and the patient. So, physician, medicines, and patient, they are, it has to be unified together. And this is the musical understanding for the whole. Repertory is a therapeutic approach in homeopathy. Perfect match, reconstructing the image of medicines from the scattered symptoms in Materia Medica. Symptoms are scattered. We have to collect, we have to choose one by one, we have to pick up from the, we see a tree is there and so many flowers come and keep falling, and we have to choose all those flowers from which we can create a garland, beautiful garland that looks so unified together. So for a patient, it is only a musical understanding. And tuning to create a music. Repertory is like a musical instrument which requires understanding and practice with dedications. This word dedication is very important. Unless you will do the work with the heart. Heart has to be involved. दिल जोड़ना बहुत जरूरी होता है. अगर बिना दिल जोड़े हुए हम लोग मेडिकल ना म्यूजिक कर सकते हैं और ना neither we can select a medicine. So I see creating a music and selecting a homeopathic medicine are the similar things. So clinical approach for a physicians, and what we have to do, what are our duty? Handling the emergency, handling the acute cases, handling the chronic cases, providing palliative treatment for the terminal cases, and the management. So many burdens are there. The patient comes late in the night with the emergency, and we have to handle. There are the acute stages in the patients, and there are the chronicities of long suffering. So we have to console them and also give the palliative treatment. So these are the clinical approach that requires to be understood in the keeping in mind for the practice of the homeopathic system of medicine. So homeopathic repertories are constructed to handle all types of the situations. Now, this is one of the things that my topic is related. Repertory, whether for the acute case, whether for the chronic case, or as a palliative medicine, or as a management medicines. No, it is for every. Repertory is a platform. It is a platform from where you can get everything. You can practice the acute practice also, the busy clinics also, OPD can be run with the repertorial approach. So different approach in repertory helps tackling of the cases of the varied nature. And we have among all those things, what we have to develop? There we have to develop our own strategy, own way, own understanding. Bonnigessen's approach are there, Kent's approach are there, Boger-Bonnigessen's approach are there, and synthetic approach are there. And what we have to do? We have to unify all those approach and to create one approach. Because on the front you are. And at that time, you will not be looking for whether I should use the Bonnigessen's or the Kent or the Boger or the synthetic. My approach, my own approach is the requirements for us to practice medicine. So diversity of patients require variable approach. Diversity, the patients are so diverse. Some patients are dominated with the mental symptoms, some with the physical symptoms, and there are only in some patients that comes with only the pathological symptoms, and one-sided observed only facts only, and we also observe mixed presentations also. So diversity, creating a unifying or in the diversity is the requirements. Bonnigessen's concepts, what we see in the Bonnigessen's concept, it is a doctrine of analogy. It is created based on logical applications of the one symptoms applied to the other part of the body. Doctrine of concomitance, the two symptoms are the distal parts and unifying them to create the single meaning. And evaluations of the remedy and concordance. This word again very important for the Bonnigessen's. Concordance has to be maintained, that is the lay, the waves, the harmony should be there. So this is the Bonnigessen's concept that we are very much appreciate. And grand generalizations. The general symptoms represents the tendency to spread. What we see in the patient, the pain comes at one place and then gradually it gets generalized and get extended to the other side. So it is the tendency, it is towards the chronicity. So general symptoms, the grand generalizations gives you the meaning for the chronicity, which is leading to the disease becoming more and more deeper, and your vital principle is getting more and more involved into it. Now see the life here. It is the unified aspects, and this is the process. It is never a static process. It is never a static process. It is constantly in the harmony. It is constantly in the motion. And among this motion, you have to create one stability. This understanding is very important. And this, if you keep this picture before you, you can understand the homeopathy, that what is your requirement. This is the process going on in the patient which is seated before you. And this process needs concentration of your mind so that you can unify and get the single medicines here. Friends, tendency for the disease is to capture entire organism. Vital theory indicates it is a inward to outward. What we see about the life principle is like a centripetal force, which is acting from within outward. But what about the disease? The disease force is centrifugal force. It is coming from outside to the inside. It is trying to capture your central point. And what the life tries to expel all the things which is coming towards it. So this is a tussle that is going on between the disease and the vital principle. So Von Gisen's concept of the totality was the quiz, personality, the individual. Who is the person? Who is the man who has come for the treatment? The personality. Some people say Dr. Von Gisen has not given preference to the mental symptoms. I say he was the firm believer for the mental symptoms. Because he said, unless you recognize, the first preference was quiz. Until and unless you recognize the personality, the individuality, you cannot, where you have to select the problems on the individual person. So individuality is at the base. And the quid, the nature, the problem, and UB, the seat, where is the problem? And cubus ocularis, the concomitant symptoms. What else are there? And what are the causations? And how the patient is existing with so many problems? Whether he is feeling better by cold, whether he is feeling better by hot, this getting accommodated in the diverse universe and diverse environment with the problems, definitely you have to consider about the modality. Because modifying factors is indicative about the sensitivity of the patient, about the strength of the patient, how much patient is able to capture or keep himself alive. This is important. Life is very important. And every life is trying to have a system that he should remain alive. And for that, he has accommodations with the accommodative process is there. So modality expresses about the accommodative process of the life among in this diverse universe. And commando, the time is very important. Time, we have our own time, our body clock is there. Universal clock is there. And matching between the universal clock, natural clock, and your surrounding clocks, there are the different things. And it requires understanding. And all these factors, the stability, the equilibrium, what type of the equilibrium is created, the diseased equilibrium or the healthy equilibrium. They are the two ends, disease and health. They are the two extreme ends, and the patient is between either on this side or on that side. Who is sick and who is healthy? It is very difficult to define among these concepts. And Kant says, Kant's repertoire is based on the philosophy of deductive logic, from general to the particulars. And general are dealt with the depth of followed by a particulars and minute. So when some person is there, the prime importance is that the mind, which Dr. Kant has tried to expand the understanding of body. Some people say that Kant was a criticizer for the Von Gisen's. I say no. He was just expanded the idea of quid into the mental rubrics and mental symptoms, and that's why he has criticized. He has said that Dr. Von Gisen said mental for individualizations only. But Dr. Kant says, yes, you can individualize. How? Only by identifying the mental symptoms, mental state, all these things you are analyzed. And then he also says that there are something happens, some problems happens in between. And with that, characteristics particular develops. Characteristics particular are those symptoms which are just opposite to the general symptoms. So, like the arsenic patients you see, they are better by cold applications everywhere. But except his head pain is better by the cold applications. Head pain is better by the cold applications, whereas every part of the body is better by. So now, why this why this change is there? I said it is the rebellion, that particular rebellion, and these things must attract your attention at this point. And for that, Dr. Kent has referred about the characteristics particular. So mind is also must have the attractions for you and the characteristics particular, and these are the greatest understanding that we can learn from Dr. Kent. So Kent classification of the symptoms was mental general, physical general, characteristics particular, and common symptoms. He says, though nothing you can ignore. Dr. Bonnigesens has limited himself to the mental general and physical general, but Dr. Kent has extended to the characteristics particular, and these characteristics particular includes both mental and the physical diverse symptoms, which are just opposite to the physical general and the mental general. And the common symptoms also are important. Common symptoms are the expression of the sufferings. The patient comes to you with the common symptoms only. Doctor, I have constipation. Doctor, I have been not getting the appetite. Doctor, I have the head pain. They are the complaints. And through this complaint, you have to enter into the arena of the characteristic, physical, and the particular. So this is the classification. This is the practical approach that is to be followed. So Hahnemann, in his medicines of experience, now see, just go beyond the organon of medicines. He acknowledged the superpower, the mind, the superpower. He explains that while at birth, mind which was in most dormant state gradually acquires a dominating position in life and rules over the entire life. Just imagine the time when you were born as a helpless creature. Your mother has put you in her lap, and she has fed her with her milk. But what about the other animals? The cow, the calf. The calf is born, and cow is not going to pick up its calf and bring it at her mammy. And when the eggs is broken and some birds come out from that, they choose their own food. Every animal have got the understanding. But what about the man, the most helpless creature? And this idea is very important, and we must remember that how much greatness of it is expanding from zero to the infinity. The mind can be expanded from zero to the infinity, and this is the idea behind Dr. Hahnemann's medicines of the experience. So you have to experience all these phenomena among the patients. They have to seated before the clinic. In the clinic, you have to be like that. So in all diseases being treated, the psychic conditions of the patient should be written down among the totality of symptoms as one of the most important, if one desires to have faithful picture of the disease from which to make a successful homeopathic cure. In file number 210, Dr. Kent Hahnemann has spoken about the psychic conditions is one of the, it should be the constituted the part of the disease. They should be the part of the disease. So mental general found itself in symptoms and the state. Now, how many types of the mental generals are there? There are symptoms and the states. So mind requires understanding, emotions, wills, and understanding. So you must have the emotions, the inner core of the mind, and wills, that is the outcome, and it develops and deteriorates with the understandings. Now, coming to the Vogler concepts, changes of personality and temperament. Now, this is very important things that has been retained for the Bonnigesens: peculiarity of the disease, seat of the disease, concomitant, causes, modality, and time periodicity, hours of the day. This was the concept added by, this is just to say the addition into the Bonnigesens concept, the pathological approach. These are the seat of the peculiarity of the disease, that is pathological approach. You may have a suffering from the fever, but this fever is only due to the COVID. or it is of the typhoid nature. Until and unless you recognize that all those symptoms which gives you the understanding of these things, you may not be able to cure the fever. But treating a fever becomes very easy and simple, with your understanding, developing the group of the symptoms that comes here. So Boger worked on the Bonnickson's characteristic symptoms, doctrine of the complete symptoms, doctrine of the pathological generals, and doctrine of causation of and time, and clinical rubrics, evaluation of remedy, fever totality, and concordance. The clinical rubrics are also very important, because clinical rubrics are those rubrics which you have observed in the clinic, whereas we are being taught that their pure symptoms comes from the drug proving also. But our Mathematica is filled up with the clinical rubrics, clinical symptoms also. So finding out the clinical symptoms which resembles the proving symptoms is necessary, necessity that is required here. So concept of pathology with ultimate change has been tried to be observed at local level of the life. Here, the concept of the pathology has been tried to observe in the present phenomenon. While diseases are affecting our life, it initiates, and after completing all stages of its progressive feature gets settled at a particular place. Usually such change state as local organ or the part of the body. So pathology as used in the context of modern medical science is the visibility. What they talk about the pathology, they talk about the visibility. But what we talk about, it is quite different. When used in context of modern medical treatment, the term often used in a more narrow fashion to refer to process and test. It includes a number of distinct but interrelated medical specialties that diagnose disease mostly through analysis of tissue, cell, body, and fluid samples. Idiomatically, a pathology may also refer to the predicted or acute progressions of particular disease. So the broadest generalization of pathology and etiology in homeopathy. What here? Hahnemann generalization, existence of the living specific infectious microorganism that came with the theory of the miasma. The miasma. So whereas they say that the pathology which is visible, Hahnemann says pathology which is invisible. It is the miasma which is invisible. This is very important contrast is there with the broadest generalization. So particular symptoms are now coming to the particular symptoms. They are like recognizing the reality. Reality, where we are. Often particular symptoms are opposite to the general, thus they too need attention. Friends, so totality of the disease, the man is required. What constitutes the totality? Unchanged state of the life. There are something which is not changed, and there are something which is changed. So unchanged state of the life, they constitute the constitution and mental state, plus the changed state of the life, that is symptoms and the pathological symptoms. So totality of the diseased man, it is not only the constitution, it is also the changed state and the unchanged state. That's only constitute, because he is not dead. He is alive, and as long as man is alive, he should be treated with the problem. He should be treated as a diseased man. And diseased man means he has got something which is not diseased and something which is diseased. So complete totality is the tuning synthesizing. Mental general, physical general, pathological general, characteristics particular with significant past and miasmatic features. We are born. Don't say that we have just dropped up. We are born out of the struggles, out of the so many phenomena. We have the past, and the past is also the base, and that we come with some understanding and the base, and that should not be ignored when we are tuning the synthesis to complete totality. So practical and clinical approach. Now comes the biggest question for us. Bonnickson's, Boger, Kent, what? Boger, Bonnigessen's, Kent, what? No. Yes. So many approach, we are coming to this positions. So best suited to create certain methods. The strength of various different methodological approach have traditionally led to the prevailing wisdom, which stipulates that certain type of case are best suited to certain methods and repertories. Certain methods and repertory. But what we have to do, we have to just find out what we don't have to select, we keep on changing from one to other. This is the strategical approach is very important here. So incorporations into the single repertory. Now the present era, you see that now they are trying to unify and bring one platform and have a single repertory. So prevailing dogma dictates that one should use either one method or other method. This is a dogma. But in practical terms, there seems little reason why that should be a case, or both approaches and many others shouldn't be incorporated into a single repertory. Now these questions we have to realize now why we should not understand and utilize the synthesis repertory or the complete repertory, because they give you the platform. Repertory books are just like a platform where you can select, but it needs the understanding. The background is very important for us. So integrated approach is required. Integrated approach. And this it is also called the inclusive approach. It is also called the inclusive approach that have one significant conceptual advantage over the exclusive one. Its flexibility allows for the creation of a virtual infinite variety of complete symptoms. And synthesized approach. It is acceptance of and openness towards the application of the rubrics. Now you see, with the synthetic approach, one say that which repertory it is based on. I say no, it is integrated approach, and it is based on all repertory, because rubrics from the different repertory has been incorporated into the synthesis repertory. So complete symptoms, Bonnigessen's, Boger, Kent. So rubrics from Bonnigessen's therapeutic pocket books can help to present complete symptoms, which also can be used as Kentian styles of the repertory, or the Boger's style, or the Bonnigessen's styles. So a specificity of the Kentian rubrics. The specificity of the Kentian rubrics can, in most situations, be recreated from the Bonnigessen's rubrics, since the remedy in the Kentian rubrics are nearly always contained in the larger Bonnigessen's partial repertory. So this is very important. Kentian rubrics in the Bonnigessen's repertory and Bonnigessen's repertory in the Kentian repertory. So they are interlinked. And now when you go into the history of the repertory, the development of the repertory, you see the data originating at one place, the Lippe repertory, the Jars repertory, they are getting accumulated, and coming to the Bonnigessen's stage, then coming to the Boger's concept, and coming to the Kentian stage. So it is only accumulations of the data. So differential approach requires differentiating the rubrics from each other, in a single rubric, whichever repertory you are using. Can you see the Kentian rubrics in the Bonnigessen's therapeutic pocket books? Can you see the Bonnigessen's rubrics in the Kentian concepts? Because medicine's concept is not going to be changed. The symptomatology contained in the medicines are the same. And it only the way you are applying, when the way you are looking at, it makes the difference. So repertorium homeopathicum syntheticum. Now it is the symptoms format is more clearly readable at each level. Either words follow each other in the normal order in the symptoms is split only once, split indicated by to show the place from which one should start and use. So delusion policeman, this is the example I am giving you. The delusion policeman comes into the house, thought he saw Now it is the Kent. Now delusion policeman coming into the house is sees a policeman. It is in the synthesis report. Similarly, meaningful rubrics, practical approach. Symptoms is split into meaningful bits, which is not done in the Kent. Cough, loose, exercise, and warm room aggravate was splitted into the two rubrics: cough, loose, exercise, and so the things are becoming more and more practical and usable, and you can observe, you can select. It is because when you look for this one rubrics, you may not be applied to the other parts also. So this is very important things that is coming up with the differential approach. So consultations approach through the cases, Bornegissen's, Boger, Kent, and synthesis. We have to arrive at synthesis. What we do in the totality of symptoms, we synthesize. Totality of symptoms is just like synthesizing the different symptoms together and bringing it a phenomena that is the totality. Now I'm trying to explain some of the examples to the cases. The first case is not mine case. It is from the Carl Robinson's case, which was taken on the 2002. I'm taking it from the records. It is not mine case. A 27-year-old man was in severe pain from an insect's bite. The doctor concluded it was from a brown recluse spider on the right posterior thigh, thigh 8 days earlier. By the 4th day, the area was grossly swollen and infected, and it was lanced. He was placed on antibiotics. Again yesterday, it was lanced, and much dark green pus was released. He was instructed to pack it with the long strips of gauze, which he did, though it was very painful to do. Now, on inspection, the skin around the ulcer was reddish purple. He said that 5 days earlier, the center had been black with a reddish perimeter. It was no longer black. The area was quite painful, especially while sitting when a sharp pain shot down. After a period of intense pain, his hunger increased. For last 4 days, he had increased thirst for 7-Up or the fruit juice. He started falling asleep during the day, very unusual for him. Since the insect bite had been, he had been feeling warmer than usual. I find myself turning the fan on. He said he wanted to be left alone. He noted some trembling in the last 4 days. This is the case of the pure physical pathology. The ulcer contained all the elements of the complete symptoms. Location, here the direction of pain is almost most important. Complaint says a stitching pain striking because of the intensity, and this black ulcer with red perimeter, this is the complaint, and modality pain worse from sitting, and concomitant trembling plus hotter than usual and wanting air, only the trembling is used. Now you see the important factors were the nature of the discharge, the sensation of the pain and its direction, and the descriptions of the ulcer, and one concomitant was selection. So following rubrics were selected: pus green, pain stitching downward directions, trembling inner, ulcer black with red perimeter. So based on these 4 rubrics, the medicines that came out from the repertory was Pulsatilla, Silicea, Rustox, Staphylococcus foetida, as you see in the repertorial sheets. Now, the selected medicines was Pulsatilla, and 3 pellets was given 3 times a day. He was warmer than usual and wanting air. Both general symptoms of the Pulsatilla is there now. As they were not the most uncommon symptoms, they were omitted through, they helped to confirm the Pulsatilla. Considerably better after the 2 days, the patient was feeling better. Shooting pain was down, shooting down the leg were 80% better. Some of the redness around the lesion was gone. The increased hunger followed by the pain was less. The wound continued to heal up nicely over the next week, And this case was quite simple using the therapeutic pocket books, and it requires only 20 minutes in totality. Now, another case from the synthesis repertory, and it is a case from my clinic. It is a case of the hypothyroidism. It was taken on the 12th of January. She is a female of 40 years age with 65 kg weight. The patient was suffering from the hypothyroidism. It was recognized some 4 years back. Breathing difficulty was there, which was aggravated by walking, palpitations and cough exertions, rest amulate, allergic to the dust, and the obesity was there. Among the past history, nothing was significant. We couldn't see any past. The family history: father was a retired person having a dry cough. Mother, housewife, she was having the hypertension. She has 2 brothers and self only, married in 1996. Husband was a police inspector, and she has 1 son and 1 daughter. Now, the mental setup: she was a graduate, but she was the housewife. Sedentary lifestyle was there. Concentration difficult, short-tempered, weeping after anger, mild and silent, less interest in religious activity, and desire to remain in bed. Changes in the life desire. This is very important things that I observed in this patient. Because she was a graduate, and earlier she had ambitions to do something, but after getting married, she was okay. She felt that, no, now I don't need the job, but still she wanted something because she had nothing to do in the house. So this desire was very important, that change in the life. So we select the physical setup was that throat was dry and with the cough, nausea, vomiting tendency, eating after was there, and palpitations aggravated by the walking aggravation, and respiration difficult, cough, palpitations, and back pain, lying long, and swelling in the body as a whole. So hypothyroid laboratory finding: TSH was 12.05, ESR was 20, and ESR ovarian cyst was noted. So now we selected following rubrics from the repertory, and it is from the synthesis repertory: mind, bed, remain in desire, memory weakness for the proper name, change desire, nausea, drinking after, palpitation, exertions during, palpitations, cough during, and difficult cough during, respiration, difficult cough during, and respiration, difficult palpitations during. So all these rubrics, you see the combinations of the rubrics that I have taken. This is important because I said that tuning is important. So tuning, I tried to make a tuning out of this. So choice of the pulsatilla, and 0 by 1 was selected, and basic theme of the changeability was there, and change desire was there, and 0-1 was given to the patient, and case was monitored through the symptoms. Now you see the pulsatilla, all the rubrics coming following with the pulsatilla. In the synthesis repertory, you see the pathological rubrics of the hypothyroidism is also mentioned, and it also covers. It gave me the confidence of having prescribing the pulsatilla. So the treatment started pulsatilla with the pulsatilla. It continued. TSH started getting better, and with that the patient was cured with a single, and she didn't took any other medicine. So Kent says, you will become an expert in questioning patients so as to bring out the truth. Store up materia medica so as to use it, and it will flow out as your language flow. You must put yourself on the level with the form of speech your patient use. Be sure you have not put any words into your patient's mouth or biased his expressions. The last line is very important. Any word into the patient's mouth, the exact expressions of the patient, the exactness of the patient, because many a time we used to apply our mind. Don't apply your mind. See what is presenting, and then only you can understand the expressions. So natural. So it is like the playing chess. Repertorial approach is like a playing chess. One has to be careful while applying rubrics for any individual case. Do not try to recall past experience in individual cases. This is my understanding, because past understanding gives you, makes your mind biased. I have treated this hypothyroidism with that pulsatilla. So now this patient will also be the pulsatilla, other patient. So now you are biased with the pulsatilla. So just try to remove your past memory and come fresh with the new, fresh mind, empty mind, and sit before the patient, and you'll get, so many patients can be treated with this like this. So alertness, observation, decision are the key point for the successful repertorization. So rubrics versus repertory. I'm also giving this, having this idea one out of the aspect that we are observing. Rubrics are the expression of the symptoms most. Rubrics are the expression of the symptoms most specific to each repertory. One has to be acquainted with the theme of involving the repertory. It may be possible that same rubrics may not be applied in all repertory. There is a need for a universal rubrics expression. Now, this is one of the biggest questions for us, because we try to understand meaning of the rubrics, one rubrics, but we have to think about in which rubrics, in which repertory this rubrics has applied. I will give you the example. Suppose you take the word repertory fastidious, as in Kent repertory. There are two medicines, pulsatilla and I think arsenicum. Yeah, nux-vomica and arsenicum. But when you come to the next generation of the repertory and the latest generation of the synthesis repertory, it contains more than 67 medicines. 67 medicines. And here, along with the pulsatilla, along with the nux-vomica, and along with the arsenicum, there are the medicines like that of the sulfur, lycopodium, other bit. Now, if you are trying to the concept of the Kent about the rubrics, the meaning of the, which was taken by the Kentian language, Kentian theme, it has got the fastidiousness, means so much absorb about one thing. But when you go into the synthesis approach, it has the meaning is of the fastidious, hard to please. The meaning comes hard to please, where the patient cannot compromise at that point. So they have to be careful from about the rubrics that you are taking from the places, and don't generalize the meaning of the rubrics. Only you have to find out in which rubrics, in which repertory this rubric stands and what meaning is applied to it. So we have to be careful for that. So disease state of the life is simply a struggled state, and conflicting symptoms brings the characteristics understanding of the patient life and also the medicines. So these are the aspects. The theme are the window of the life, and through the window of life we get a vivid picture, and for every changing situations in life getting reflected in the different symptoms. The changes of life, how you see the different state. Today I am looking like this. Just remember how I was looking some 10 years back. The change is the process of the life, and change is the process of the universe. Everything is changing. So what is constant? What is constant? The only constant is the principle. The consultations is a completely unique process, demanding of the interviewer different kind of sensitivity and different approaches to each patient. Different kind of sensitivity and different approaches for the each patient. So with these understandings, it becomes life is the art of drawing without an eraser. Nothing can erase, and you can keep on drawing, keep on adding, but they are not erased and never erased. So these are the concepts. If you keep in mind, you have to develop that. You can get insight into the homeopathy, and until and unless you, with these insights utilize the repertorial approach, and unless you follow the repertorial approach, I feel it becomes very difficult for the practice of the homeopathic system of medicine. So understanding of life begins with the understanding of the patterns. Understanding of the life begins with the understanding of the pattern which was given by the Fritz Capra. So thank you very much for all your patiently listening my very long speech. If you have any questions, you can have me at my mail risdts@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me or Telegram me on my WhatsApp number that is given here, 943102062. So thank you very much for this presentation. So with this I conclude, and I thank Dr. Bhatme sir, especially Dr. Bhatme sir, and our Kishore Mehta sir, and our Daryani sir, who have given me a wonderful opportunity to express my views, understanding, and what I have conceived about the report till date. So thank you very much, sir.
Sir, you can see the chat box. If you are,
Okay, sir.
there may be questions.
Dr. Sahani sir, कुछ questions, some questions come in chat box. So
Okay,
meantime,
sir.
you can check it. Now
Chat
this is a, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
sir, for your excellent presentation. Very fundamental things, which we also, some of them we also forgot, and we recalled it and refreshed it. And with this, we have upgraded the repertorial knowledge, the application, and so many things we got, sir. So on behalf of Sonaji Rao Kshirsagar Homeopathic Medical College and Harry, we are extending our heartfelt thanks to you for your presentation, sir. Now, may I request Dr. J.D. Daryani, sir, who is a moderator of today's session. Let me introduce in a small, actually his introduction may not fill in a 2 or 3 pages, but this pearl from Pink City, I welcome this pearl from Pink City, Padharo Maro Des, as a moderator, sir. Dr. J.D. Daryani, sir, is a former principal of MPK Homeopathic Medical College, Jaipur. He was also professor and head of Department of Repertory, along with medical superintendent, and former dean of Faculty of Homeopathy, Jaipur, Rajasthan University. Almost more than a half century, he has contributed his life to homeopathy, to upgrade and popularize homeopathy. Presently, he is a chairman of Drug Proving Committee of Central Council of Homeopathy, New Delhi. Also, he is a member of Advisory Board of Ayush from Government of Rajasthan, and many awards. He is recipient of many awards. He has got lifetime achievement award, then as a best teacher, and many other things are there. So with this brief introduction, may I call upon Dr. J.D. Daryani, sir, to please come for his moderation. Thank you, sir. Dr. J.D. Daryani, sir. सर आपका माइक अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा. हाँ, सर आपका माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए.
Dr. Mahendra ji, there is one question in the chat box. In the chat box, so many questions are there. But only one question is relevant. All thank you and congratulations to me. Except one question. One question is asking how many rubrics you have to select for a case. I say the minimum number minimum is not fixed and maximum is not fixed. It depends on the individual. It may be 5, it may be 2, it may be 4 or 8. What I practice, I usually take 8 rubrics, minimum 8 rubrics, to fulfill the hexameter of Bonny-Wilson. Hexameter of Bonny-Wilson, that is the 7 symptoms and 7 aspects, 7 area I try to incorporate, including the miasma area, and that constitutes minimum number should be, which should accommodate all the hexameter of the repertory. So thank you, sir. And sorry, Dr. Daryani, sir, for interrupting in between.
Not interrupting, but for learning. Well, I'm very much confused from where I should start myself. No doubt, Dr. Sahani's lecture was very, very appreciable and valuable. But here, before I start my comment, giving the comments, I will welcome Dr. Bhatia. Anil Bhatia was my guide. And I'm the member, family member of Shir Sagar of the college, Bede. We used to call Kaku Saab. Dr. Basme, Dr. Basme. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
You have given me an
I am
opportunity.
hearing you.
You have given me an opportunity after a long time. I must mention here when MD was started, MD course was started, our college was first and your college was second permitted for the MD course. And generally, you assign few students under my guideship, and frequently I visit to Bede for examination or any CME programs. Thank you, sir. Again, after a long time, you have given me an opportunity, Dr. Basme. I am really thankful to you. But things have been changed now. Entirely changed. Now it is digital time. Corona has learned us to be a digital, not to nearby. As far as Dr. Sahani is concerned, thank you very much, Sahani, sir. I think you will not mind if I am telling you, I am saying, sir, your informative lecture.
Sir, I am not your sir. You are my sir, sir. You are my sir. Don't tell me sir, sir. I am your student, sir, because I was a student at the Jaipur also, sir, and at the Bede also. So I am the student of Dr. Bhasma, I am the student of Dr. Daryani, I am the student of Kishore Mehta, all those faculties at both the places.
I'm thankful for your informative lecture on differential studies on repertorial approach in homeopathy. The most important thing which you highlighted, that there should be an integrated approach. This thing is very important, how to integrate. This is a second chapter, which I will not touch here or not speak here. Sir, as we know, there are different ways of study Matra Medica. Some believe in characteristic symptoms. Another way is therapeutic, or like that, a drug picture, constitution, the source from where this medicine is obtained to match the source symptom or the nature or the picture. Similarly, there are different approaches for repertorization. After case taking, one can clearly understand what I believe, what kind of symptoms are present in the case. Or in other words, I can say which symptoms are to be given importance. पेशेंट ने अपनी बात पूरी कह दी, लेकिन मतलब की चीज क्या निकली हमारे लिए? नॉट फॉर अस, बट फॉर हिज ट्रीटमेंट या फॉर हर ट्रीटमेंट, टू इंडिविजुअलाइज द केस. Because such things helps us to make a totality. Simultaneously, I will say, selection of repertory is completely based upon totality. Like Kent repertory and synthetic repertory, if we use for predominant journals. Maybe the physical or mental, but mostly it is mental. While presence of particular indicates for BTP and BBCR. Pathological journals. For pathological journals, we generally use BBCR. But where clinical conditions are there, common symptoms of disease and diagnosis, only clinical repertory will help us, that is regional repertories or BBCR. Now, in modern repertories, like synthesis, like Murphy, any case can be worked out. Sir, because of technical problem, it is not very well. In present era, computer softwares are available to repertorize the case, have made a process of repertorization very easy. But we should not forget that it is only a mechanical device. Whatever we will fill or feed in it, the outcome will come. But ultimately, we should know whatever we have filled is all gamut of symptoms or many striking symptoms. So carefully selection of repertorial approach and understanding of rubric is important, according to me. And you also stressed upon the same, the rubric. For getting desirable results, considering the time, you're keeping in view of the time, in the end, I conclude with one line: selection of repertory is not a choice of physician, but it depends upon the nature of case. With this, again, I am thankful to you all for patience hearing, and thanks to Dr. Bhasme. And today we are almost of same age group people. Dr. Bhasme, Dr. Sahni, Dr. Kishore Mehta. If we are active, it is because of homeopathy. Homeopathy has got an integrated approach. We consider the disease, but what is to be treated in the disease? Sometimes pathological journals will help us. Sometimes clinical repertory will help us. Sometimes regional repertory will help us. And ultimately, our main motto is the restoration of health of the patient or the illner. With these words, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bhasme. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your excellent moderation, because many points we missed, and you have covered almost everything which was there. And this is my time to cast the vote of thanks. But before my vote of thanks, may I have an announcement of tomorrow's webinar presentation, which with the distinguished speaker, Dr. Anil Khurana will be the speaker tomorrow. And he is a Director General, as you all of know, that he is a Director General CCRH, Central Council in Homeopathy, and he is a Chairman of Board of Governors of Central Council of Homeopathy, New Delhi. And his topic for tomorrow's deliberation is CCRH research on COVID-19 disease. It is a present, in this present scenario, what CCRH is doing and how best we get data out of this research. And I personally feel that this data will be unique in the world, because many colleges and other homeopathic doctors are involved in treating and maintaining the data of COVID-19 pandemic disease. So tomorrow by 2 o'clock, Dr. Anil Khurana on researches of CCRH in COVID-19 disease. So now again, I come back to my part. Before I call upon Dr. Bhasme sir for his closing remark, it is my duty to give my heartfelt thanks to today's distinguished speaker, Dr. M.K. Sahani sir from Patna. He has taken, in a very short time, he has covered a big subject like repertory, and many new things, many hidden aspects he has covered. So thank you, Dr. Sahani sir. I also, my thanks are due to Dr. Daryani sir for his moderation for this today's presentation. I extend my heartfelt thanks from our Sonajirok Shirsagar Homeopathic Medical College, Beed, and Harry, Mumbai, on behalf of Dr. Kishore Mehta sir and Dr. Arun Bhasme sir, and from entire our team, to all the participants who has joined in this webinar, the students, the PG residents, the principals, the professors, the physicians from various parts of the India and abroad. We extend our heartfelt thanks to them. Now may I request Dr. Arun Bhasme sir for his closing.
Dr. Kishore Mehta sir बोलतील ना पहिले.
Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, may I request you for the closing remark, please. Dr. Kishore Mehta sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ghoshal, Dr. Arun Bhasme, Dr. Sahane, Dr. Daryani. A very nice opportunity for us to at least meet on online. Thanks to Dr. Arun Bhasme for making this program, and Dr. Sahane's lecture was wonderful. It was covering up the principle of repertorization which we are following. I said principle of repertorization which we are following in any repertory, whether it is Kant, whether it is Boni-Ocean, is usually from ailments from two. We go to generals, mind, body, and then particulars. So from generals to particulars. In the same very way, Dr. Sahane has also given lecture in the same way. If you analyze his lecture starts with the concept of life, concept of man, difference between living, non-living, that's a very general aspect of life. Then he is coming to spiritual and metaphysical aspect of life, that is highly generalized thing, and then coming down to the concept of disease. And from concept of disease, he is coming down to totality. And from totality is coming down to repertorization. So how from huge concept of general is coming down to particular to repertory, and then in repertory itself also, he starts with a meaning of repertory, he starts with epidemiology of repertory, how it is derived, he starts with what was the necessity of repertorization and how repertorization history evolved right from the time of Hahnemann till synthetic repertory. So his lecture was also following the principle of repertorization. That is something which is really wonderful, and it must be made note of when we write about how we evaluate a lecture. And no doubt the content was absolutely perfect content. There is nothing to talk about the content. And well, it was really very nice, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Sahani sir, Dr. Daryani sir, Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, और इसमें ज्वाइन हुए हैं डॉक्टर नित्यानंद तिवारी, डॉक्टर तापड़िया, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इथापे कॉलेज डॉक्टर देवेंद्र पाटिल and his staff and students, Guru Mishri Homeopathic College, Jalna. I am thankful to all of you on behalf of Sonaji Rao Shirsagar Homeopathic College and Homeopathic Education and Research Center, Mumbai, on this webinar series. Yesterday, I had been announced about the closing ceremony and the guest. Today also, I want to inform that this webinar series part second, because first part was the 4th October to 11th October, and the second part of this series from 12th October to 4th November. I am happy that Honorable Minister for Ayush, Government of India, Honorable Shri Sripadji Naik has accepted our invitation for the closing ceremony, concluding ceremony of this webinar, second part of webinar, and Honorable Sri Rajesh Tope, the Minister for Health and Family Welfare of the Government of Maharashtra, he will also be present and will attend this concluding ceremony. So all of you are, I request to join on that 4th November program at will be at 2 p.m. And I am thankful to all of you, Dr. Daryani sir, Dr. Sahani sir, Dr. Mehta sir, and all of you. Dr. Ajit Kulkarni is also there.
Yes,
I am thankful, Ajit. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. My one special thanks remain, which I would like to extend to Dr. Nishant Daryani, who has accompanied Daryani sir and assisted him for his technical support. So thank you, Dr. Nishant.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So with this, with the permission of Dr. Bhasme sir and Dr. Kishore Mehta sir, let us conclude this session. And tomorrow by 2 o'clock, we are again meeting for CCRH mentor, Dr. Anil Khurana sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. रुक 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 थोड़ा रुक रुक देखने